Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kira and I'm coming back at you today with a very large colouring haul. I'm going to be sharing with you all of the supplies and books that I've picked up since my last haul, which was around 2 months ago now. And I've definitely added quite a bit to my collection since then, so it's gonna be a long video today. I did set myself a budget for colouring books and supplies a little bit ago, and I can definitely say that is out the window now. I do have somewhat of a game plan when it comes to growing my colouring book collection, so I'll dive into that later. But for now, let's talk about all of the supplies that I've picked up in the last 2 months. Now I'm gonna go through these first few supplies semi-quickly because I have already shown them on the channel and have dedicated videos to some of them. These first 3 supplies I'm gonna show you are all from the Ohuhu brand, and I wanna mention before I forget that I do have a discount code that you can use on the Ohuhu website. If you use the code apictured10, you can get 10% off any item on the Ohuhu website, so definitely use that. It's only active for another 5 months, so use it while you can. So I'm sure when you think of Ohuhu, you immediately think of their alcohol markers, and that's what I've got here. I've got the 120 set of, I think it's the Honolulu B series. So one end of the marker has a brush tip and the other end has a chisel tip, and I just love these pens for basing any of my pages and then going over the top with pencil work. We then have the fine line drawing pen set. These are now my holy grail pens for when I'm adding elements to my pages and I kind of want to seamlessly add them in. You get quite a variety of sizes in this pack, including a brush tip. So yeah, whenever I'm adding elements to my coloring pages, you'll see me outlining any sort of pencil sketch work that I do with these bad boys. And the final product from Ohuhu that I have to show you is this magical marker pad. Why is it magical? Because you can use your alcohol markers in it on either side. So literally there is 0 bleed through. I have tested that out and it does work. However, I was just scribbling around, so I ripped those pages out. I am thinking of doing an alcohol marker video where I show you how to create different patterns and textures with your alcohol markers. So let me know if you want to see that video. And then we have another brand I am obsessed with, the Artex brand, especially their acrylic markers. If you watched my last video on the channel, you would have seen these definitely make an appearance. These are the brush tip markers that Artex sells. So you have a lot of flexibility when it comes to what sort of strokes that you want to create on your coloring pages. This is the 60A set that has a lot of bright and saturated colors, but I do love this set just a tad more. This is the 60B set that has a lot more pastel colors, which I love for basing as well as adding highlights to my coloring pages. We then have this 72 soft pastel set from Lightwish. You would already know all about this set if you saw my soft pastel video. In that video, I showed you 3 different background ideas that you can do in your coloring books with soft pastels. I am really proud of the backgrounds that I created in that video, so definitely check it out if you haven't already. And then for that video, I also picked up a kneaded eraser. This is the Prismacolor kneaded eraser. And to be honest, I still don't really know how to use it properly yet. I used it in the soft pastel video to lift some of the color off of the page. I feel like I need to watch some YouTube tutorials on how to use this properly though, because at the moment I feel like I'm just using it as if it were blue tack or something like that. And I'm keeping it in an old earplug case, and that's working really well for me. So little hack there if you want a storage container for your kneaded eraser. And then I have finally picked myself up some workable fixative spray. I have been coloring for a year now and I wish I had picked this up sooner. I don't know why I didn't. This obviously works really well for the soft pastels so that it doesn't smear all over the page when you go over with your coloring pencil work later. But this is also just really good for protecting your pages once they're done. And the reason I wish I had picked this up sooner is because I've been using hairspray hairspray up until now. And a lot of you did forewarn me that the pages start to yellow when you use hairspray, but I was just kind of like, nah, it's fine. And yeah, a year later, I can see that those pages are a little bit on the yellow side. So it was time to upgrade from my $3 hairspray and get this workable fixative spray. Now we can move on to the supplies that I haven't shown you yet on my channel. First up is this art masking fluid from Winsor & Newton. In that pastels video, you would have seen that I used masking tape to cover specific areas of the coloring page that I didn't want affected by the soft pastels. And it was very difficult cutting the masking tape to fit, you know, very intricate parts of the coloring pages. So I've decided to give masking fluid a try to see if that's a better alternative. I will admit that this really scares me, but I'm gonna give it a go. And I also want to use this to create some really cool effects on backgrounds. So maybe I'll do a dedicated video on creating cool effects with masking fluid, or I'll just incorporate it into another video somehow. We'll see. And then we have this really interesting tool here. I saw this on the Coloring Bliss YouTube channel and I thought it was really cool. And basically what you can do is just create a whole bunch of different angles and circles. So obviously you've got the circles right here in the center. You could use this to create bokeh effects, bubbles, whatever tickles your fancy. And then you can also create your own size circles with these little circle indents. So if you want to create a 1-inch circle, you can put your pencil into the 1-inch spot, and then the inside part of this device sort of turns around and you can create a perfect 1 inch. And then you can just also use the outer edge of this tool as a circle as well. So this is going to come in handy a lot because I love creating circular backgrounds in my coloring pages. Now, if you saw my last haul, you would have seen that I bought one very large pencil case that was a 300 slot pencil case. And at the time I had put my Brut Funas and Prismacolors in there, but I decided that I would prefer to have a separate pencil case for each of my colored pencil brands. So I'm leaving my Brut Funas in that 300 slot case. And then I bought 2 new pencil cases, one for my Prismacolors and one for my Artex colored pencils. And then I'm also going to show you this while we're here. I also bought these very mini white dot stickers because I wanted to create my own color order for my pencils, and it's just easier to then have my own numbering system so I'm not constantly looking at my swatch sheet and going, okay, this color goes next to this color. It's just easier to have them all numbered and then I can slot them straight into the pencil case in order. And I know a few of you were actually wanting to know my color pencil order, so I'm gonna put my swatch sheets on the screen now. You can screenshot them and order your pencils in the same way if you'd like. I do own the 160 set of Brut Funas. However, you will see that I've only swatched out, I think it's either 147 or 148. And that's because I removed the metallic pencils from my Brut Funa set because I just didn't like how they looked. So those were all of the supplies that I've added to my coloring supply collection in the last 2 months. Now we can move on to the books. So I've added 7 books to my collection since my last haul video. Some of them you've seen pop up in videos here and there, and I will forewarn you that 3 of the books are from the same author. I usually try not to do that, but I did do it in this case. As I mentioned earlier, I do have a bit of a game plan when it comes to growing my coloring book collection. Since I've only been a part of the coloring community for a year, there are still so many books out there for me to explore and find out about. So right now I am focusing on collecting those older books so that I don't miss out and they go out of print. And then once I've picked up all of those older published books, I'm only going to focus on purchasing new releases. And honestly, I'm not that far away from finishing my, what I've dubbed, backlist wish list. I do really not want to overwhelm myself with too many books because I'll just feel guilty if there are so many pages uncolored on my shelves. It'll just make me feel sad. But yes, I need to try and stop rambling. Let's talk about the 7 books. Now, as I usually do with my coloring hauls, I'm gonna do a quick flip through of some of the pages in the book, but then also show you the top 5 pages that I'm most excited to color, which is why there are tabs on all of the books so so far. Okay, so the first book I'm gonna show you has been seen on the channel a few times, so it's probably familiar to you already. This is Year of Witches by, oh, I still don't know how to say it properly, Yusakyu. Let's go with that for now. And I'm absolutely obsessed with this book. I've come to realize that I really love witchy, spooky, magical content in my coloring pages. I have colored 2 pages in this book already. I'll show you one of them, but the other one I'm gonna save for my completed pages video at the beginning of next month. And the first page in this book is one of my top 5 that I'm excited to color. And something that I do really love about this book is that not every single page is super witchy and spooky. These are the 2 witches here, and they're just sitting down at the breakfast table, having some drinks, having some breakfast. At the second page is one that I'm also very excited to color. I'm loving creating transparent, smoky effects in my pages at the moment, so this element here is calling to me. This page was on my coloring plans list for this month, but unfortunately, I don't think I'm gonna get to it, which is upsetting, but we only have so much time in our lives, don't we? And what I also love about this book is that it has a few Christmas coloring pages in it, which obviously it's a Year of Witches, so you're going throughout the year, you're going through the seasons. So I'm really excited to have some Christmas coloring pages to color when it comes to that time. Oh, it is very soon, isn't it? Only 2 months away. Where has the year gone? And then this is also the other Christmassy page that is in this book that I am excited to color. I think I'm excited to color this one a teensy bit more than the other one. There's just a little bit less detail, so it's not as intimidating. And then this is one of the pages that I've already colored in it. This was my alcohol marker challenge where I tried to only color with alcohol markers. I did put a little bit of glitter gel pen on the page as well as some acrylic marker, but zero pencil. I'll just do a quick flip through of some of the pages whilst we're getting towards my final page that I'm super excited to color in this book. Honestly, I'm excited to color every page in this book though. Part of me wishes I'd bought the, I think there's like a compilation book you can buy on Amazon there's 3 books in this sort of Witches series by Yusakyu, but I just wasn't sure whether I'd like the pages, so I was trying to be smart, I suppose. And then this one here, this is the cover image, but I can just see so much fun and color going on this page, especially with this, I don't know what you want to call it, smoke magic potion thing going on here, and probably doing a really cool sort of galaxy background as well. And then that's the last page there, but yeah, I'm so excited to have this in my collection, and you will see a bit of a theme with the books I'm showing you, that I have a lot of magical witchy books now in my collection as well. Speaking of magical, we now have Magical Woodland by Kate Pellerin. You would have seen this book in my coloring plans for this month, and I still haven't gotten around to coloring in it. I'm just really scared to ruin the pages because they're just so gorgeous. I mean, this is one of the ones I'm very excited to color, and it's just a very different style to what I'm used to coloring. It's quite sketchy, and I don't have any other books like that in my collection, so I am a little bit nervous to have my first completed page, but I am still hoping to get to it this month. I have seen that Teacups and Art, I believe that's the YouTube channel, I'll put it on the screen, has a mini tutorial for this, so maybe I'll use that to sort of break the ice with this book. This is another one of those books though where I just love every page and I can see myself coloring every single one. This one is also adorable. We got this little fairy underneath the tree. Have no idea how I'd color it, but I'm excited to at some point. And I'm not someone who usually loves coloring people, but I love the people in this coloring book. So maybe this will help me get a little bit more comfortable with coloring humans in my coloring pages. This was one of the ones on my coloring plans list for this month. Will I get to it? I'm not sure. Wait to see my completed pages video at the beginning of next month. Which is the next page? Ah, yes, this one. I just think this dragon is absolutely adorable. I know this illustrator is, I think, a children's book author, and I can see kids absolutely loving this illustration style. It's so adorable. This is kind of almost like a small victories page in a way, kind of collagey, but it also still makes sense as a scene. And then finally, what's the last page? I can't remember the pages that I tagged. Oh, I think this page is gorgeous as well, but it's not in my top 5 because I'm absolutely so intimidated by shading the skin of this. And this is the final one. I do love coloring florals, and as you can see, there are a few florally elements on this page. I have no idea what I'd do for the background though. I'm thinking a little soft pastel vibe, some sort of vignette effect, I think. So yes, that's Magical Woodland by Kate Pellerin. The quality of the paper in this book is absolutely stunning, and I can't wait to eventually color in it. We'll get there. Another spooky, magical coloring book to add to my collection. We have Spooky. I have no idea how to say this author's last name. I don't want to even try because I will butcher it. And this book is right up my alley because I love cats and I also love coloring jars. And there are so many jar and glassy sort of pages in this book. You've also got almost like, it's kind of like a story on the other side of the page as well. I'm also very happy that it's single-sided because we know that means I can use my holy grail Ohuhu alcohol markers. This one looks so fun. It's so silly, so stupid, but so adorable all at the same time. And this is what I kind of mean by lots of glassy jar elements. This page is so detailed, very scary, but very cool at the same time. Some of the pages are a little bit weird for me, I will admit that, but it doesn't mean I don't want to color them. I just think if all the pages were like this, I probably wouldn't have bought the book. But I also think it's just a really interesting illustration style as well. This one is going to be super fun. I think you could have a lot of fun with light since it's a light bulb page. This page here is one of my top 5 as well. I have seen the author herself color this. I'm not sure if she did it digitally or if she did it by hand, but she had a very watercolory style to it. So I might try replicating her page. All right, what's the next tabbed one that I have? Ah, yes, it's this one here. I've seen Shelley from Shell's Coloring Journey do this one and I thought it was absolutely stunning. She did this amazing watercolor background that I really want to try. I thought it looked so cool. So this is definitely high up on my list to color. And then there's a few creatures here that are kind of in that vein where I was like, oh, if all of the pages in the book were like this, I probably wouldn't have picked it up because it's just a little bit too bizarre for my liking. Where is it? Oh, this one here. This one is very intimidating, but I could imagine it looking really cool. I'm imagining very autumnal colors with the leaves and the mushrooms, and then maybe having a monochromatic book so that these elements really stick out on the page. I think that'll just look really cool. And then I'll just quickly flip through the last few pages. The cat is now going to sleep. So yeah, that is Spooky by Sarah, and there's her last name. Okay, now this book is very special to me because it is my very first Happy Mail from a subscriber. Rachel reached out to me via email and let me know that she had a duplicate of this book and she wanted to know whether I wanted her duplicate copy, and I said yes in a heartbeat because I've actually had my eye on this book ever since I saw it on, I believe Jess from Coloring Bumblebee owns this book. However, it is now only available via Amazon on Amazon Paper. This is an old copy where the author herself, that's her name there, I'm not sure how to say it. She used to sell this copy on her Etsy store and it is on this amazing paper. I feel like this paper is going to do absolutely incredibly with water mediums. It is just so thick and it's got a great texture to it as well. So unfortunately, you can no longer pick this book up from her Etsy store, I believe, but you can still purchase it on Amazon. It's called My Tiny Forest, I believe, coloring book. My Tiny Forest isn't on this copy, but the Amazon copy, that's what it says. And this is just such a wholesome coloring book. Yet again, I love that it's single-sided so I can have a lot of fun with different mediums. I definitely want to try out lots of watercolors on this page. This is one of the first pages I'm super excited to color. I really want to try and get some good rain effects on this page. It's quite a seasonal book as well, so you can really have some fun with some different seasons. Like I feel like this one's quite autumnal because you've got falling leaves in the background. I'm excited to color this one just because of that little bear. How cute is he? Adorable. We then then have this fun party scene that I'm excited to color. I will admit I am slightly scared, or not scared, but intimidated by the large background spaces. I'll have to get really good at my sky and grass coloring with this book. And this page here I am excited to color because it actually reminds me of a page from Boule de Poire. I believe there is a mushroom page with like a ferret sleeping underneath the mushrooms. This one would be great for Easter. And then we're finally getting towards the end where I believe the last one I flagged was a Christmas page. Yes, this one here. Oh, I love it when non-Christmassy books have like 1 or 2 Christmas pages, because it means you don't have to go buy a whole Christmas book that you can only color in once a year. You just get a nice page here and there with a Christmassy element to it. So yes, hopefully I can color this one in December as well. So yes, thank you so much, Rachel, for reaching out to me and sending this book to me. I am seriously so honored that you wanted to send this book to me, and I'm so happy to have it in my collection. And she said that I didn't have to do this, but I just want to give back to her a little bit. She does have an Etsy store called Fuzzy Fox Designs, and that is a cross-stitch pattern book. So if that interests you, definitely check out her Etsy store and give her some love because she deserves it. As I alluded to, these last 3 books are all by the same author. I try not to purchase so many books from the same author at once, but these were all on special during the Prime Day deals, and they are all books by Lulu Mayo, which is very ironic because I've only ever colored one Lulu Mayo page, and I kind of struggled coloring that book, but I'm just obsessed with her illustrations. Honestly, I am happy to have them in my collection untouched because I just think the pages are so fun and cute to look at. But I promise I will color at least 1 page in each of these books soon. So let's start off with A Million Little Monsters. As I said, I'm on a spooky, magical coloring book kick at the moment, so I had to add this to my collection. And I've just seen so many amazing completed pages in this book, so I really need to figure out my coloring style in Lulu Mayo's pages. This is the first page here. I'm excited to color. I know the Halloween season is almost over, but honestly, I'm not someone who's too fussed with coloring Halloween style pages within, you know, the actual October period. Yeah, I'm kind of happy to color any sort of spooky, witchy, magical pages any time of the year. I definitely feel like I'm more of a mood colorist rather than a seasonal colorist. The only exception is Christmas. I will only color Christmas pages during the December month. This is the next page I am very excited to color. Usually I'm not drawn to books that have a black background, but for some reason Lulu Mayo's illustrations are the exception. Her illustration style just works with it. It just makes the illustration pop off the page more. So I'm excited to color that one. I love coloring unicorns. I think they're so adorable. Flicking forward to the next page. Another pumpkin-y page with a black background. This just looks so much fun to color, especially look at these cats dressed up. Too cute. And then we've also got another black background. I didn't realize I'd picked out so many black background pages in this book. I could also see these black background pages looking really good with neons, which I never color with neons ordinarily, but obviously Lulu Mayo is bringing out a different side to me. And then this one here, I've seen this colored so much on Instagram and Pinterest, and it just looks like so much fun, so I can't wait to color that one as well. So that is the first of 3 books that I purchased from Lulu Mayo these last 2 months. We then have A Million Mermaids. This book will be great for Mermay next year because I know a lot of colorists get into that where they color mermaids for the month of May. And what is the first page that I wanted to color in this book? Let's have a look. I will admit that I'm not a fan of how far into the spine the illustrations go in some of Lulu Mayo's books, because I'm just not going to want to color them if they do that. This one here, I think this one is so cute and fun. I've seen some people use like pearlescent watercolor for the shells in Lulu Mayo's books, so I feel like I want to try and give that a go. I just don't know what medium to use. I haven't found a good pearlescent watercolor, so if you know any brands, definitely let me know. I feel like you could almost color this for Christmas if you did Christmassy colors, because it's very wreath vibes. The bow reminds me of Christmas time as well. Maybe I'll have to put that on my Christmas coloring plans list. Speaking of double page spreads, we have this one here. Yet again though, the how far into the spine it goes does put me off a bit, but I've literally still never done a double page spread, and I've been coloring for 1 year now, and this one doesn't feel too intimidating, so maybe I'll have to give this one a shot. And then the final two that I'm most excited to color. Coming up, this one, another seashell page. This one might be better for using pearlescent watercolors because it's not too much shell. You just see little sparkles here and there. I also think these mermaid pages are going to get me more confident at coloring hair as well because we got a lot of hair going on. And then finally, we have the last page. I just think these, what are they, narwhals? They're just so adorable, and I do really love Lulu Mayo's unicorns as well, so I might have to pick up her unicorn book at some point as well. But yeah, this one just looks so magical and fun, and I can see so many colors going on that page. So A Million Mermaids by Lulu Mayo. And going off of the sea underwater theme content again, we've got A Million Sea Creatures by Lulu Mayo. I don't know why I love underwater sea content in my coloring pages so much. I think it's because I love the color blue and purple. I'm a real fan of cool toned colors. This is one of my top favorite pages here because I'm obsessed with otters. There are a lot of mermaids in this book as well, so lots of mermaids to color from Lulu Mayo. Oh, and I didn't tag this page because it wasn't a massive standout for me, but this is kind of a Christmassy page as well, which I think is really fun. An underwater Christmas page. Kind of lends itself to a Christmas here in Australia. We spend a lot of time in the water at Christmas time just because it's very hot during the summer months. But anyway, what was I saying? I went off on a tangent again. Yes, I love underwater style pages because of the cool tones. I love blues and purples. And I think you can just also have a lot of fun with bubbles and bokeh effects. And that just really appeals to me as a colorist. Obviously, all the other pages are towards the back of the book now. Here's one here. These unicorn seahorse hybrids are absolutely adorable. I could imagine coloring this for Valentine's Day or something like that. We then have this page here. What drew me to this page are these... Are they dolphins or dugongs? They look more like dugongs to me. There's just something absolutely adorable about them, and I can imagine a lot of fun, vibrant colors going on with these leaves under, I guess it's seaweed or coral. Is this a dugong or is it a seal? I feel like this one actually might be a seal just because of the whiskers and everything. And look at the little seals on its head and on its back. That's adorable, and because music has a massive place in my heart, I do love any sort of musical instruments in a page as well. And then I think I tagged, oh yes, this page here, because I thought this would actually work for Christmas as well. You've got some presents or maybe even someone's birthday month. You could also color it for your birthday month as well. Lulu Mayo does a lot of these pages where it's almost, I don't know, like a sea wave crashing and you got things coming out of the sea, but yet they always are different and just really fun to color. So yeah, that's my final book and final book by Lulu Mayo that I purchased this month. I feel like these books are a good representation of what kind of coloring I'm enjoying at the moment. Spooky, magical, underwater. That is very much what I'm loving as a colorist. And there you have it. Those are all of the books and supplies that I've picked up in the last 2 months. I'm assuming my next haul now probably won't be until after Christmas, so if you want to see that, definitely hit that subscribe button. And until next time, happy coloring, friends. Have a good day, have a good life, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!